Well, even more, Conchetta. The county and the city's budgets are totally different. The city has 700 million. The county is 71 million. I am going to ask, and request that all commissioners take at least a 30% pay cut, and then we'll start from the bottom down, and ask other people as well, because we need projects for the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chavez. As we go to Mr. Canales.
Fiscal prudence should be the main topic of conversation at this point. I am willing to do whatever it takes to make sure our county goes in the right direction. And as a leader, we need to set the example. But I can tell you, and going back to our commissioner, when he says that he does not charge, as an attorney, we all know that attorneys make more than $65,000 a year. Maybe he should have dropped his salary as a public official and kept his salary as an attorney, since he is practicing at this point.
Thank you, Mr. Canales. As we go to Mr. Martinez, your rebuttal.
Talk is very cheap, but have the gentleman do the walk? Why does Mr. Chavez doesn't give 10% back to United Independent School District and has set an example a long time ago, or did it when he was a city council member? Why doesn't Mr. Canales give back 10% to the county? So, Ms. Mojica, his boss, came and offered a 10% cut in salary for the whole department. Thank you very much.
Your private business on county property using county resources to do so.
I'm sorry, Victoria, but that is incorrect. When I ran, and even now, my logos at all times that I ran have said attorney at law to distinguish myself, that I have the necessary qualifications in order to run for office. I put it there because that's exactly how I ran and how the people elected me, not Mr. Canales. And therefore, and I do not conduct private business there. As a matter of fact, if you go to my office, there are 3 signs at every step of the way that say that if they have a private case, they need to call me elsewhere, and I don't even put a number there. So I am not conducting any business out of there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. Mr. Chavez, you have 30 seconds.
Yes, the county operates from 8 in the morning to 5 in the afternoon. I've heard instances, and I've seen Mr. Martinez in the courthouse at those times. So, he is running some kind of attorney practice from his office. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chavez. Mr. Canales, 30 seconds.
That is what I call using taxpayer money for personal gain. He uses the office to conduct business for his private practice. That is something that we should not tolerate. And I'd say this dearly to the taxpayer. We should not tolerate an individual who first of all, we're paying with our taxpayer money, and now he's also conducting business, placing a sign that he's an attorney. How would it look like if Mr. Jerry Garza placed a sign that said real estate agent? It wouldn't be so good for the community.
Ivy from Crystal City, who has developed a field of water that is 400% more pure than the one that we drink here in Laredo, even after being treated. He made a presentation to the city council. Unfortunately, I am not at the city-county committee. I am not there. I'm not there. Otherwise, I would have pushed it. I would have moved it, and it would have passed. But there's another gentleman, and the realtor is Mr. Fassi, Alberto Fassi, who has some gentlemen that are willing to put the money, private enterprise money, to drill more wells at the site that we have 30 miles out and bring it to Laredo.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Martinez. As we go to Mr. Chavez in 30 seconds.
Yes, we already have one well in the county that's pumping in like 500,000 gallons a minute. We only need to get together with the schools and make up a contract, but the water is there. Thank you.
And we go to Mr. Canales for 30 seconds.
Yes, we've identified a secondary water source already 20 miles off in the Carrizo-Wilcox Aquifer. We need to find ways to actively develop that area. Commissioner, again and again, he's talking about people wanting to bring different water projects to Laredo. Let's work on what we already have. We've identified 20 miles away. We need to develop that area. We need to actually, the river is drying up, and if it dries up, what are we going to do?
I have never gone back on my word. As I mentioned today in an earlier debate, 90% of my practice was given up. The other 10%, Pinoraida, was employed in helping people that I promised in Precinct 4 that I would contribute free, pro bono legal services, and that's exactly what I have done. Now, I do work overtime. I work meeting with people at 6 o'clock in the evening, on Sundays, on town hall meetings that we conducted in order to get the water sewer connection at La Penita done. I work more than hours than people see. What's amazing is that people say that I'm not there. Where are they when they are able to see me that I don't work? Where are they at work?
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. Mr. Chavez, you have 30 seconds.
Thank you. The first time that I wanted to talk to Mr. Martinez because there was a fire in my district and I needed indigent care, I could never find him. From 8 to 5, I could never find him. And he did promise that he was going to leave his practice to dedicate himself full-time to Commissioner's Court. And what I hear out there, the people that he's not available, he is never available for them.
Thank you, Mr. Chavez. As we go to Mr. Canales in 30 seconds.
Commissioner, you cannot make promises that you can't keep. We all know that you practice all day. I come from a family of attorneys. They're there all day. They could never do their private practice being a public servant. And if he says he doesn't charge them, all those people that he's been charging for the last 3 years, I'd like for you to come back and ask for a refund because you've been paying. And this man says here that he's not charging. But you know what? The bottom line is he lied 4 years ago that he was going to be a full-time commissioner and leave his law practice, and he didn't do it.
Thank you, Mr. Canales.